Okay, today we'll just look into the properties, composition and industrial application of the engineering materials. Now, question arises, what is this material? A material is a substance or a mixture of substances that constitutes an object. So, any object which we have or which we make, it contains the materials. So, materials can be in a form of pure form or impure form. It could be a living or non-living matter. Materials are classified in four main groups like metals, polymers, ceramics and composites. In our engineering side, we are mainly focused on the ferrous metals and non-ferrous metals. So ferrous metals are the one which contains the iron and the non-ferrous metals which doesn't contain any iron. So along with these two, we have the plastics, ceramics and diamonds, composite materials and also the nanomaterials. Metals can be divided into two main groups as we discussed, the ferrous and non-ferrous. Ferrous materials cannot be used directly because the pure iron it is of a ductile material and it will be very soft, so that cannot be used directly. While there are many types of metals, below are 5 common options which have been given here. Out of that, the aluminum is the one which we are using regularly, and aluminum as well as the stainless steel are the two metals which we are using regularly, so along with the brass or the copper. So coming back to the main list, so metals will be having the gold, silver, iron, copper, nickel, like that. So around 10 metals have been identified. And the non-metal side, we have the diamond, sulfur, graphite, carbon. So again here we have identified nearly 10 non-metals. Looking into the figure, we can see the color of those metals. It starts from the silver and move towards the golden side, and the color keeps on varying. So by looking into these colors, we can identify which is that metal, and all these metals will be having some standards. So this is the main diagram where the engineering materials are classified into the metallic materials and the non-metallic materials, but we are interested more on the left side where we have the ferrous and non-ferrous materials. On the right side we have the organic and inorganic. So in our engineering terms, we focus mainly on the left hand side, that is ferrous and non-ferrous, and in the ferrous side we will be getting the steel as well as the cast iron, and when we move towards the non-ferrous side which doesn't contain any iron, here we have the aluminum, copper, magnesium, tin, zinc, so like that. So various materials are available here. So starting with the cast iron happens to be the basic material which contains more of the carbon, and in the cast iron we will be having 4 types, where the ductile cast iron is there, the malleable cast iron is there, the white as well as the grey cast iron. The name grey cast iron is due to the fact that the carbon is available in terms of the free graphite. The next is the steel. In the ferrous materials, this steel happens to be again iron with the carbon percentage, and in the steels also we have various forms like carbon steels, alloy steels, stainless steels and tool steels. So in industries we'll be using more, we focus more on the tool steels. So all the tools which are made in the industry for the cutting purpose is made of these tool steels. So moving towards the non-ferrous side, we have the copper and its alloy. The copper alloy are the metal alloys that have the copper as the principal component. So these copper alloys are further in two forms. One is the bronze, another one is the brass. Next is the aluminum and its alloys. The aluminum happens to be the base material. Alloying these aluminum, this will be added with some more materials, and we have the list of alloys which will be used. So this slide will show you the various alloys of the aluminum, where they will be having a very the properties keeps on varying here. So one side it will be excellent, another side it will be poor. So based on the requirement, these alloys of the aluminum will be used. Next is the polymer. So polymer, again, it's a class of natural or synthetic substance composed of very large molecules called as macromolecules, and these are multiple and similar chemical units called as monomers. So polymers, again, there is a development in these polymers, and these are used in our engineering applications. There are two types of polymers. One, we call it as a thermoplastic polymer that is, when heated, becomes a liquid, so it can be easily formed in a desired shape. And such polymer, when cooled, will keep its shape forever. And the another one is the thermosetting polymer, where the word setting comes out here. But this polymer, when it is made with one shape, it cannot be reversed. The curing is induced by heat or suitable radiation and may be promoted by high pressure or mixing with the catalyst. So thermosets are something like a permanent set of polymers. Next material is the ceramic. It's a solid material with inorganic compound or the metal or metalloids or non-metal with the ionic or covalent bonds. Some common examples of the earth is the brick, and these ceramic materials are used regularly. And one important thing is often completely amorphous. So these are the components generally which we make from these ceramics and which are used. The next element is the glass. It's a non-crystalline, often transparent solid. Already we know, and this has widespread practical applications, and for the decorative purpose this glass has been used. And how the glass is made is from the liquid sand. We can make the glass by heating the ordinary sand, which is mostly made of silicon dioxide, until it melts and turns into a liquid. Next is cermet. This is a composite material which is a combination of ceramic and the metal. Here is the advantage, when there is a combination, the advantages of ceramics and the advantages of metal will be used. That means there will be integration of the two properties, and this can be used successfully. So this is ideally designed to have optimal properties of both ceramics, such as high temperature resistance and hardness, and those metals such as ability to undergo a plastic deformation. So this is continued in our next video.